Is looking for other partner investors to fund big-ticket transport infrastructure projects after the Transport Department dropped China as partner for 3 main projects. So what does this mean for the nation? Let's ask Infrawatch PH convener Ridon. Terry, thank you so much for joining us. How significant is this move, and will it hurt how infrastructure projects move forward in the country?
Well, I think it needs to be clear that there is a real disconnect at this point, relating to the relations between Beijing and Manila. And this is a clear reflection of it today. The reason why there has been a delay in the approvals of all of these loans has precisely been because of the repivoting of the Philippines from Beijing to Washington. There's no other way to explain the status of it all. So I think this is a step forward towards looking for other infrastructure funding sources.
Where can we find these funding sources?
Well, I think there are available funding sources like from JICA, the Asian Development Bank, and other bilateral partners who can basically fund all of these pending infrastructure projects, which will be scrapped because of deteriorating relations between Beijing and
the likes of JICA, Korea, and other first world Asian nations, including the Asian Development Bank, already have so many projects here in the country. And these are big ticket items that need billions of dollars. Are they willing to come in to fund it?
Well, I think there will always be a market for essentially development projects, which all of these funding firms, funding agencies can actually undertake. And more importantly, aside from all of these official development assistance projects, the president and all of these agencies can look at public-private partnerships in undertaking all of these Chinese projects which might be scrapped in the future.
Which, of course, the Marcos administration has been promoting in partnership with the major conglomerates in the country. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a foreign funder, but it can be a local conglomerate.
Well, that's correct. And I think more importantly, one of the developments in the PPP route, for example, for the airport, there has been a report that foreign players are very much interested in engaging in the PPP for the Ninoy Aquino International Airport. I think there are 2 foreign players that are very interested and in fact bought the funding, the bidding documents for the NAIA project.
All right, apart from this 3 China projects, which are the South Long Haul Project, the Mindanao Railway Project, and the Subic-Clark Railway Project, what other projects are still pending where the Chinese are partners with the government?
Well, there are pending projects like the Kaliwa Dam project. It is already a committed project. But I think the administration has also split this project, and a portion of the Kaliwa Dam development has already been given to the private sector. So it is subjected already to a PPP. The Chico Dam project is also a project that is being implemented through Chinese funds. So I think all of these which are already ongoing, these are already committed projects. So funding will continue up until the very end.
What about the other projects? Could we also see the government pulling out for projects that are still in the planning stage that has not yet received funding, but China has committed to be part of it?
Well, firstly, I'm not certain on the seriousness of China to continue to commit to all of these what we call indicative projects. So I think government, particularly because of deteriorating relations, should look towards other funding sources already. So we have to be very proactive towards this end.
But are there already some major Philippine government China projects that are already finished? And what do you think of these projects that have already been completed?
Well, the grants, for example, for the bridges in Metro Manila, these are completed projects already. So, of course, we have to thank China for this because this was given as a grant.
But what about the quality of these projects?
Well, there were concerns relating to the quality and, more importantly, on the use of foreign workers instead of domestic labor for implementing all of these projects. So I think senators had raised concerns relating to this, and I think moving forward, all of the future projects should definitely use Filipino labor to complete all of these projects.
We just cannot put China, though, in a corner and criticize what they have done for the country. But also, what about the advantages of having the Chinese as partners in infrastructure projects?
Well, I think the idea in the previous regime was to have a good relations with China, for them to deliver infrastructure projects, in exchange for bettering relations, particularly on the tensions within the West Philippine Sea. But I think what we had seen in the last 6 to 7 years, we didn't see much. There wasn't much of a delivery despite the promises of infrastructure development from Beijing sources.
What about the Americans and the Europeans? Do we also see them coming in a big way in helping us in our infrastructure projects? We've seen the president traveling over the past 18 months to various countries, getting billions, tens of billions of dollars in pledges. When do you think will this materialize? And will this basically pump prime infrastructure development in the country?
Well, I think the most recent development is related to his Middle East visit. And there are pledges particularly relating to the Maharlika investment funds. I think it's something that we have to look out for.
These are just pledges, Terry. When are we really going to see that hard cash land in the country?
Well, ultimately, it is the burden today of the economic managers to make certain that all of these pledges will transform into reality. We shouldn't go back to previous time in which there were actual promises, for example, from China, but were never delivered to the Philippines in the last 5 to 6 years.
Let's hope for the best. Thank you so much for your insights. Infrawatch convener Terry Ridon.
Thank you.